Welcome to day 2 of Thy Kingdom Come. Today's reading is from Hebrews chapter 2, verses 8a till 10. In putting everything under them, God left nothing that is not subject to them. Yet, at present, we do not see everything subject to them. But we do see Jesus, who has made lower than the angels for a little while, now crowned with glory and honour, because he suffered death, so that by the grace of God he might taste death for everyone. In bringing many sons and daughters to glory, it was fitting that God, for whom and through whom everything exists, should make the pioneer of their salvation perfect through what he suffered. At first sight, this may seem a slightly puzzling couple of verses. The them referred to in the first line is mankind, i.e. us. We are told here nothing that most of us don't already know, and that Christ died in our place, and that this made him the pioneer of our salvation. The question I have is, how can we repay him for this? In one way, I'm not sure that we ever can. However, that should not stop us trying. I think it's probably fair to say we have been living for the last couple of months in what can only be described as strange and troubling times. For some, it has proved to be too much to take, and they have sadly ended it all. For us as Christians, whilst I'm sure that many are finding it difficult in many different ways, we are very fortunate that we have the reassurance of the kingdom to come, or as the reading said, salvation. Think of those who don't have this reassurance. One of the things that never ceases to amaze me is that whilst over the last 40 or so years church attendance has dropped off, and there has been a growth of therapists, which have to be paid for and appear to have taken over at least part of what the church has to offer, but without any long-lasting reassurances. In reading some of the Christian press recently, and also the response to the Magor ministry area online services, it would appear that many more people are now showing an interest in what the church has to offer. I'm sure that you all know many non-churchgoers who are possibly struggling mentally and who could probably now benefit from our prayers at this time, and also perhaps with some practical help as well. You never know, but they might be persuaded to perhaps at least come and see what we have to offer when things get back to the new normality. I know that at the moment it is not possible to meet as in church buildings, and I miss this as much as I suspect that most of you do. But hopefully soon, with adequate social distancing in place, we will be able to meet again, and wouldn't it be great to see some new faces, that perhaps with time and prayer we can show them the good news of the kingdom to come. I mentioned practical help. This could be something as simple as offering to go shopping, or in one case I know of, a couple of youngsters locally who are furloughed at the moment and who have been walking a neighbour's dog each day, as the dog's owners are having to be very careful owing to their own health problems. It could also be making a phone call to somebody to check that they're not lonely. As I said earlier, as Christians we are fortunate in having a firm reassurance about the kingdom to come and what it means to us. But it is also our responsibility to share this with as many others as we can, especially in these difficult times. I look forward to seeing as many of you as possible in the next few weeks when the situation allows, and to be able to congregation in our various churches to be able to worship collectively in person. Lord, grant us, your people, your peace, that we may shine brightly in this which at the moment appears to be a dark world. Grant us the courage to live faithfully, even in the midst of these troubling times. Let our fear of you be the beginning of wisdom, rather than allowing the fear of the world to drive our actions. Help us to embrace our heavenly citizenship and live to your glory in the midst of a world that desperately needs to know you. Show your mercy and heal those who are suffering in your fallen creation. Most of all, Lord, come. Restore the world you have made and make all things new. We pray that your will be done. Amen.